The smallest leadership lesson I'll never forget. Many people think that leadership is big decisions, authority, strategy. Yet one of the biggest lessons I've learned was actually something small. It was noticing someone who felt invisible. Now, this is about 20 years ago. Before I worked in tech, I was working in the gaming industry. If you've ever been in Las Vegas and you've been to a big casino and you've been playing the slot machines, I worked in the slot department. This was at the New York, New York. I was a slot floor person. Now, back then, our responsibilities were paying out jackpots, filling the machines with coins, opening up the machines if there's a coin jam. Back then, we had to fill these machines up with coins, so when you hit a jackpot, the coins would all come out, hit that metal tray, and you could hear it all throughout the casino floor. It generated a lot of excitement. Where today, it's the tickets, right? It's tickets in and out. So we don't have that anymore, but we still got to pay out those big jackpots and get tax forms filled out and just provide customer service, asking questions about the various multipliers and how the game works. Maybe it's some video poker questions. And when I worked there were so many other people that worked there too. We had cocktail waitresses, we had the table games dealers, we had supervisors, managers on the floor, we had our bartenders, we had our porters that were keeping the casino floor nice and clean and tidy. Back then, you would have these plastic buckets. Everybody would gather their coins, and those would be all over the casino. We'd have the paper wrappers from the coins that people would purchase to put in the machines, and they'd clean those up. There might be some drinks that are left in between machines. And one day, while I was working my section, I was in the section, it's right now in the front of the casino, right by the strip where the M&M store is. They didn't have it back then, but I was in that section there. And I saw one of the porters that was working there, and I just said, "Hey, how's everything going? How's your day going?" And we briefly spoke. And then I think within a few minutes later, we crossed paths again because it's a smaller area. And he said, "You're a very kind man." And I'd never heard that phrasing. I've heard nice things before, and that was a nice compliment. So I said, "Oh, I really appreciate that. Thanks a lot. I'm just curious, why did you say that?" And they looked me straight in the eye, and they said, "The entire time I've worked here, no one has ever said hi to me and talked with me." And I just couldn't believe it, because I was saying there's so many people that work there and interact, and maybe sometimes we just get caught up on our own day-to-day, and we're thinking inside our heads, and we don't reach out and say hello, talk to somebody, get to meet somebody new. Now fast forward to while I'm working in tech, and there was a software developer really passionate about their work, good at what they do. They'd been at the company a few years, really friendly personality. And I remember them mentioning somebody in leadership, and they said, "They've never said hello to me in the 3 years that I've worked here." Now that floored me as well, because here we had a lot of people, similar to the casino environment. There were, I'm sure, more than enough opportunities for this leader to say hello to them, at least say hi to them, but didn't even acknowledge them. Now, in both of those cases, in that casino example, I can tell the sincerity of this person saying that they really appreciated that I said hello and spoke with them. In the other example, in the tech space, by them saying in 3 years, like they made a mental note of that. They made a mental note of this person, this leadership person, didn't even say hi or acknowledge them, or even, at least at a minimum, to even thank them for their work. So think about that. Sometimes the smallest things can have the biggest impacts. Now, on the flip side of that, in that tech space, we had a goals coach, which is a really, really cool benefit to have a goals coach. You could schedule time to meet with our coach, and they would keep you excited and motivated and help you set your goals, make things that were realistic and achievable. They would follow up, hold you accountable. And you could set these appointments and meet, or you could just drop in. There was a lot of times I would just drop in. And it was so cool because no matter what our goals coach was doing, they would stop what they were doing, turn around, look directly at me or whoever that was there, and pay attention and listen to what they had to say. They knew about our goals, our families, things that were going on at work, so you could talk and have a great conversation there. And this Gold Coast would also not just be in the office all day, they'd be out around the various office buildings meeting people, and they knew everybody's name. They smiled, they were positive, they just brought a lot of positivity wherever they went. If you had a current goal, they knew what your goal was. They knew your name. They asked you how things were coming along on the goal. And it was just a really inspiring example of leadership in a positive work environment. So you have a little bit of both. And sometimes maybe it's not intentional, but I think after 3 years, there's probably more than enough opportunity to say hello to somebody. So maybe this isn't just a leadership tip or thought or principle. Maybe it's just a communication principle to keep in mind and something to think about. And think about how you want your employees or coworkers or friends to think about you and what impact you have on their lives. So maybe very simple. Whenever you have that opportunity to say hello to somebody or ask them how their day is going, means a lot, means a tremendous amount. So even though leadership, yes, it's making big decisions, having authority, creating strategies, it can also be some of these very seemingly simple ideas that can really elevate the way you're perceived and the impact you have on others by just saying hello and talking to someone. So keep that in mind. Stay positive, stay motivated. Glad you're here. Have an amazing day, and we'll talk soon. Thanks again.